Our language helps define our sense of self and connects us to those who came before us.
It is our language that identifies our culture.
With about 10 million Armenians in the world, currently there are only approximately 500,000 who still speak Western Armenian.
Western Armenian is on the list of endangered languages published by UNESCO.
ՅՈՒՆԵՍԿՕ-ի համար դեղեկագիր պատրաստել էինք, նկատի առնելով արևմտահայախոսներու թիվը աշխարհի տարբեր անկյուններու մեջ։ Իրենք որոշեցին հայերենը կամ արևմտահայերենը դասակարգել որպես վտանգված լեզու։
The resources to support the curriculum we have for our students grows scarcer by the year.
Stemming from this need, we introduce you to Arpi Publishing. Established in 2022 to create original books for children and young adults written in Western Armenian.
Most of us learn the nuances of a language by reading books.
When scholars discuss linguistic vitality, the focus is on generational transference. Will the language be passed down from one generation to the next?
The act of writing in one's native language not only preserves the language, but also contributes to the enrichment of one's linguistic tradition and aids a community in being able to fight for their own self-determination.
I'm an artist, and my main goal for studying illustration was to create children's books in Armenian. But unfortunately, I never had the luxury of having the time nor the financial backing to create books as passion projects.
Most Armenians often make the assumption that Eastern Armenian is the only regional vernacular spoken in Armenia. However, certain areas, like Gyumri, where my family is from, they do speak Western Armenian, so it is so important to preserve this language not only within the diaspora, but also within the motherland.
Even though there are over 24 Armenian day schools in the US alone, aside from textbooks, we teachers feel the lack of books written in Western Armenian to enrich our students' reading experience.
As a playwright, I have written a number of plays for my students that deal with contemporary issues. So knowing there's Arpi Publishing, now you can start sharing this work, which is written in Western Armenian, with the rest of the schools, the rest of the Armenian institutions.
There's a sense of urgency in cultivating the language's expressive quality and creative potential.
Arpi Publishing is the first of its kind in the United States and one in a handful ever established in the diaspora.
In the last few years, especially, it's become very difficult to find Armenian books written by Armenian authors for children in Western Armenian.
I went to an Armenian school my whole life, and the sad thing is, the only Armenian I ever read was assigned textbooks, so I never even really understood the language. It was super formal and it wasn't conversational.
Մեր աշակերտներուն համար, մանավանդ մենք Ամերիկայի մեջ կապրինք, պետք է իրենց կյանքը, իրենց երգիրը, իրենց առօրյան պատմող նոր քիրքերու պահանջ կա.
I attended Armenian school my entire life, and most of the Armenian literature we read was really pre-genocide Ottoman Renaissance, and it's lovely and beautiful and wonderful. Growing up, I do wish that we had something a little different for us to relate to as young people. I'm confident that it would have inspired more people to continue writing and reading Armenian outside of school.
Մենք չենք կրնար նույն քիրքը շարունակել վերահրատարակել, լեզուն թարմացնելով պետք է նոր եւ նոր հրատարակություններ պետք է պատրաստենք.
Students in my college classes tend to be surprised when they are introduced to contemporary Armenian literature. That is to say, they are surprised when they learn that Armenian literature has dealt with and is capable of dealing with all sorts of themes. Why shouldn't these students be exposed to the full range of possibilities in the Armenian language throughout their reading journey and not just after they have come of age?
I grew up in the Armenian school system. However, I hadn't read a book written by an Armenian woman until I was in Berkeley. Where were all the female authors? Where are they now? Our culture can surely progress as we have had all of these different social perspectives to relate to.
They must learn to view the language not only as a historic or formal outlet, but a modern-day form of expression and conversation that they feel connected to.
We at Arpi Publishing are taking the initiative to uplift Western Armenian literature by finding, compensating, and promoting Armenian authors. However, It is imperative that we have the support of our schools to assign whichever books fit the curriculum as required reading.
I think for me it's important, being in a mixed family, for us to have the resources like these books for generations to come.
I think it would be really cool to read sci-fi and action adventure books in Armenian.
I like to read fairy tales.
I love reading a good comedy.
Conspiracy theories, yes, հայերենով շատ կուզենայի կարդալ.
Mainly action and adventure.
Our goal is to bring to young readers the bigger world, outside of things Armenian, in Western Armenian.
I like reading chapter books, and one of the books that I'm reading right now is actually The Hunger Games.
Oh, I'm reading The Hunger Games too. I love it. I wish they had like a book similar to it in Armenian.
Books like Percy Jackson and Apollo in Armenian, I would definitely read them.
Books like Genevieve John in Armenian.
If there was a book like The Spanish Love Deception in Armenian, I would definitely purchase so many copies of it.
My Life as a Meme or more mystery books, I would be more excited to read in Armenian.
Our intent is to have authors write stories for different age groups: 6 to 8-year-olds, 9 to 13-year-olds, and young adults 14 and older, so that they fall in love with the language at an early age.
I would enjoy reading romance books in Armenian.
Romance.
Because it would make me more passionate about learning Armenian.
The books would be very helpful to strengthen my vocabulary.
Սրբացում է դուրս պետք է բերել լեզուն, պետք է դառնա մեր ամենօրյա հարաբերություններու, մտահոգություններու, խապկանքներու, երազներու, ամեն ինչի լեզուն, պետք է ամեն ինչ ունենք, լեզվի հետ խաղանք, զվարճանանք, երբեմն հայուենք լեզվով.
If we want to strive for cultural independence, if we want to continue thriving as Armenians in this world, then it's important that we represent ourselves in the written word in our own tongue.
Arpi Publishing will inspire a new generation of Armenian writers, readers, translators, and teachers. It will provide us educators the tools we need to support that mission we all share.
Future authors, we are looking for you. If you have an interesting story to tell and the ability to write it in Western Armenian, we invite you to submit a sample. If your idea is chosen to be published, you will be compensated and your book promoted.
Arpi Publishing will create opportunities for new talent to write and illustrate books without having to scramble for funding or having to go through the arduous process of self-publication.
Now there's a venue, there's a place that they can actually submit their work, and not only that, they will be compensated for their writing.
We invite you to ask yourselves, how can you advance Armenian culture?
I decided to donate to Arpi Publishing because of my kids, Ashkan, Yeraz, and Ishkan.
How can you contribute to expanding our community's literary base?
Arpi Publishing is a registered nonprofit 501c3. Your tax-deductible donation will help write the next chapter of Western Armenian literature.
Let's make books together.
We invite you to donate and join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us. Join us. Join us. Join us.
Join us in instilling creative vitality to Western Armenian, so it continues to inspire for many generations to come.